Hello there, and welcome back to Ace Attorney 2 Justice for All, where we are about to hear this freaking clown's testimony, hopefully without any jokes, please. This is a new recording session. I just so happened to accidentally start the recording without realizing that I guess I didn't save. Or maybe the save file did something weird, but basically it made me replay a little bit, so I just had to ditch that recording. That will never see the light of day. My words will have been wasted forever. But thankfully I can recover them, because for those of you who have been astute, you may notice that my face cam is a little more square rather than rectangular, and that's because I decided to scoot some of it off to the side of OBS so you can't see it, and my IRL camera has been just slightly tilted to the left, which means I can give off the illusion that the camera is a little more focused. I know some people like the sync, but maybe it's causing a little more on-screen clutter than it should. So we're going to try this out for a week. Let me know if you like this style. I'm always happy to hear if people like things that I do. That does that does fill me with great joy. But what doesn't fill me with great joy is listening to this freaking liar clown go on and on about stuff that probably didn't happen. 'Cause that's not funny at all. That's not a joke. Well, maybe it is a joke. It's just a bad one. Anyways, we're finally gonna get into the silhouettes. Take it away, Mr. Curls.
That was a bit far away, but that shadow could have only belonged to Max. There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols. His uppity symbols, his silk hat, that black cloak, they were all there. His face was silhouetted, but there was no doubt it was him. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying.
Okay. Does seem as if the defendant was at the scene of the crime. It took the clown long enough to get his facts straight. But whatever, this should finally be good enough, yes? Yep, it is a decisive testimony. It is decisive testimony. That's what he said, not me. Was Max really at the crime scene that night? I feel like if he's had 5 versions of the same story, then maybe he wasn't. He said he wasn't there. We have to believe that. All right, Mr. Wright. Commence your cross-examination.
The silhouette. It was a bit far away. That shadow got
Don't you think that you are going a little overboard with how explicit you're being? That shadow belonged to Max is an awfully firm statement, don't you think?
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying that one of your fellow performers' life is on the line here. Are you truly 100% absolutely certain that it was Max?
I'm not the kind of person who would lie about something as serious as this. The silhouette I saw was Max. I'm convinced of that.
It doesn't seem like he's jumping to any conclusions this time. Let's go over this again, then. What makes you so sure that you saw Max that night?
There's no doubting it, especially since I saw his uppity symbols.
Trillo said the same thing. But if it was just the symbols, then even I could have been wearing them. What if someone had just taken Max's symbols and worn them?
I thought of that myself. But just looking at the shape of the face I saw, it must have been Max.
You're sure of that? Such a silly little boy. He threw his entire case headlong into a trap.
His silk hat and that black cloak, they were all there.
I only listed 2 things. You're sure that is what you saw that night? There's they've said it constantly now. I do remember for as for as many patches in my brain, in my memory of this case as there are, being dragged out over weeks at a time. I do remember they are very adamant about there being 3 symbols. It's like the hat, the cloak, and the roses, right?
Exactly what I saw. What I said I saw is exactly what I saw.
Alright, tongue twister.
I've got eyes like a hawk.
Don't birds have terrible night vision? Now's not the time, Phoenix.
But that's not all.
I saw.
His face is silhouetted, but there was no doubt that it was him. It was definitely that sneaky, sneaky Max.
You were able to see that kind of detail from your window? Objection! Shut up. There was a light near the scene of the crime. Anyone with decent eyesight should have been able to see that much. Out of curiosity, Mo, what is your eyesight like? As I stroke my chin, I actually doing a weird little it's not really stroking, is he? It's just like rubbing, caressing his chin.
And I can see like a hawk out of my left eye and an eagle out of my right eye.
Is there some sort of joke to that? Our records say his eyesight is a perfect 20/20. That must mean he could have seen the crime scene clearly.
The more we look into this matter, the more suspicious it becomes. Hey, you asked me what my eyesight was like, not what it actually was. His cloak was fluttering in the wind, so I couldn't really see what he was carrying.
That's another point of contention, too. So you didn't actually see what the criminal was holding?
That's correct. I've been curious to know what caused that loud noise. It must have been something incredibly hard.
Too bad they haven't found the murder weapon to know for sure. They claim it was a blunt object. At least it says so in the autopsy report. Man, too bad we don't have Edgeworth here to update it. With Trillo's testimony and now Moe's, it really seems like Max is the killer. Nick, you've got to find a contradiction in this. Wow, I totally said that in the weirdest tempo. That's not going to be enough. What? I have to prove that Moe saw someone other than Max that night. That's the only thing that will help. I've got to do it.
It was a bit far away, but blah blah blah. Since I saw his uppity symbols.
Alright, so he claims to have seen his symbols, but the only lists 2? Come on now. Is there something here that can, like, prove that? So, cat found the scene of the crime. Emblazoned with Max's 3 famous symbols. Ah. Broken bottle, circus map, money, the monkey. Russell's autopsy report. Okay. Right. Let's try the poster. Present that ish. Ah, yeah. Perfect. The music cut off. I like it when the music cuts off because it means I'm right. You saw all of Max's uppity symbols?
Yeah, I suppose so. The so cat in the cloak, right?
Mo? Everyone knows that Maximilian Galactica has 3 uppity symbols.
3 symbols?
Yay, everyone, get ready. All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses.
What the?
Who cares if he knew that there were 3 or not? He saw what he saw, and he saw the symbols. He just forgot to mention one. Isn't that right, Mo?
Isn't that right?
Silence, fool. You are to respond with the whole truth, no fractions. No fractions of the truth. No infractions of the truth either. Order. Order number 138. Mo, you didn't see the roses, did you?
To be honest, there weren't any roses on the person I saw.
Mo, what the fuck? The crime scene was dark. It's obvious that it was too dark to see that kind of detail. Ah, but Miss Von Karma, you said that it was clearly lit. The witness said he was able to see the silhouette of the criminal's face. Not to mention that the roses are white. There's no way he could have missed them. Then the roses must have fallen off when the defendant assaulted the victim. If that was the case, then the police would have found them near the scene of the crime.
Where's it right? Are these white roses truly material to the facts of this case?
Clearly not. He's just toying with this court. Ah, but is he? I got her on the ropes now. These seemingly insignificant facts have never failed to lead me to the truth yet. Someone is toying with the court, but it's not me. Your Honor, do you recall Trillo's testimony? There's no way I can mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby 3-piece getup? Trillo saw them all. Trillo saw all 3 of Max's symbols. However, this witness claims there were no white roses on the person he saw. There's absolutely no doubt that this is a contradiction.
Now what am I supposed to think? One is supposed to disregard the pointless by this.
Judge, forget the roses. Think about his other testimony. The witness has stated without a doubt that he saw Maximilian Galactica. Nothing else matters. Let's wrap this case up now. Chop chop. Your Honor, it may be trivial, but it does cast doubt on the prosecution's case.
Frankly, I have my doubts about this witness. Seems that, unlike wine, the witness has not grown more mature with age.
Damn.
I'm not mature. You're mature. You're manure. Now I've come to a conclusion. This whole thing's off. I'm 99% certain that this witness saw the defendant. However, my remaining 1% of doubt is quite reasonable. Which means that for my peace of mind, I'm going to request a bit more testimony.
But what?
If there are no contradictions in his next statement, I am prepared to issue a ruling.
A ruling? Nick, this is your last chance. Alright. The Silhouette Part 2. Here we go.
There's no doubt in my mind, there were no white roses that night. However, all the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I can forget the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
Okay.
Mr. Wright, you've got one last chance at this.
Just one chance? Climb up and grab the last chance.
I will not allow even the slightest hint of badgering against this witness. If you are going to prove to me there's a contradiction with Mr. Girl's statement, you'd better have at least a shred of evidence to back up your accusations.
I've only got a single shot at this. I've got to be careful. I understand, Your Honor. One chance is all I'll need. It's all I will need, because we're proper English folk here. Alright, Silhouette Part 2. Let's go ahead and save it real quick before we make a big oopsie. Back again.
There's no doubt in my mind.
There. Oh right, we already press. Pull it. Mo, be honest. Ow! You promised, Mr. Phoenix, right? No more badgering. I hope you enjoy this penalty. Oh, boo. Alright, no more pestering. We gotta figure out. However, all the other symbols were there. I'm equally sure of that. Especially the silk hat. There's no way I can forget seeing the decorations on it. He was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene. Ah, was he now? Because we did find the silk hat. If he was wearing it the entire time, then he would have left with it too, right? At least that's what I would think. Yeah. This wouldn't happen to be the silk hat you saw that night, would it?
Yep, that's it. That's the hat he was wearing that night.
No question in your mind.
Exactly how would one mistake a thing like that?
I see.
Is there some sort of problem, mister? Mister?
Miss Von Karma, where exactly was the silk hat found? Must you always ask these questions? It was found at the crime scene. I always want to say scene of the crime, because that sounds way cooler than crime scene. Crime scene? That means... The silk hat fell off at the crime scene. However, the witness clearly testified to the contrary. The witness stated that he was wearing it the entire time that he was on the scene.
No, that's not true.
What do you mean it's not true? You just testified it.
Order! Mr. Curls!
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the meaning of all this?
Oh my god, he's speaking in all caps.
You're old enough to know better than to behave like this in court.
Hey, that's just not right. That's so harsh.
What's not right here is your eyesight and your memory, amongst other things.
Why are you being so mean to me? What did I do? Let me guess, you just didn't like my jokes or something, right? You didn't have to go and insult my eyesight or my memory. They're both great. Seriously, why? Just because no matter how old I get, I'll always be younger than you.
Sob. Sob.
All right, well, he had his Joker moment.
Enough of these.
Oh my god.
Enough of these childish outbursts, Mr. Curls. Who do you think you are?
I saw him. I swear I saw him. It was Max. Even if he didn't have his roses, he was still wearing his dumb silk hat. I'm telling the truth.
He's turned into a bratty little kid. It's pitiful, isn't it?
He left the scene wearing the dumb silk hat. He was there.
He left the scene? What's the matter, Dick? There's something I've been mulling over for a while now. Mo?
What do you want?
You just said that he left the scene. Exactly how did the murderer leave the scene of the crime? Uh-oh, I just got a little... I think I know where Phoenix is going with this, because there's no footprints in the snow.
What? He went. What do you mean, how did he leave the scene?
You can't just ask me that.
Objection!
Mr. Phoenix Wright is badgering the witness, Your Honor.
Objection!
This witness's testimony is so full of holes, Miss Von Karma's protest is useless.
Grr. You've got a point. Let's hear what the witness has to say on this matter. Is that all right with you, little guy?
Oh, damn, little guy. Holy moly. I'm loving this Mo versus Judge feud.
Don't talk to me like I'm a little baby. Besides, what kind of stupid question is, how did he leave the scene of the crime? The answer's obvious. He just turned around and walked away.
That's what I'd expected you to say. You sure that's how it happened? Are you sure, you little boo-boo?
I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this. Lawyers nowadays sure do love to harp on the smallest things.
Well, the devil is in the detail, Your Honor.
You have any proof to counter his story as to how the criminal left the scene? Like a smooth one? Like a very smoother than a baby's bum criminal?
Yes, it's that photo that does not have a set of backwards footprints in the snow. That one. Look at this picture.
I refuse.
The problem is the footprints in the snow.
Footprints?
In this photo, we can clearly see the footprints of the victim. However, where are the criminal's footprints? They aren't there. So, Mo, exactly how did the criminal escape the scene? Your Honor, This witness has already proven that his testimony is completely unreliable. I move to strike all of this witness's testimony from the court record.
I agree. This clown's testimony is as rickety as the clown car he came to court in.
Ooh, wait just a second. You guys can't just ignore everything I've said. Fine, fine. I'll tell you the truth this time.
There's no more. He can't tell us the truth again.
You wait a second. I think you've said more than enough for today. That didn't hurt. I'm sick and tired of listening to you anyways. I'll give you the real deal this time, I swear.
I don't know why, but I get the feeling things are gonna get worse before they get better. And speaking of which, we will find out how worse things get before they get better next time on Hooky Hour. So, I'll see you all then. Bye.